Hi, my name's Ruan and this is my channel, The Yorkshire Sew Girl. I hope everybody's well. I'm doing all right, but I've had a bit of, I don't know, this week, you just feel a bit, a bit burnt out. That will be me. We've just got a lot going on with work and social stuff and family stuff and household stuff and yeah. But today I have actually booked a half a day off to just chill a little bit, reset myself and work out what I'm going to do because, yeah, I've got a lot on at the moment and I'm starting to get into that panic mode. I think us women do that though, don't we? We take on an awful lot, don't we? A lot of the burden and then we have to try and sit with it and try and work it all out. And yeah, I'm feeling a little bit frazzled, but I thought what better way to spend my time than chatting to you guys, because I do know I've been promising a makes video for a long time. I had a look back on my YouTube videos and the last time I did a makes vlog was 3 months ago. And I've made quite a lot since then because that was even late for what I'd been making recently at the time as well. So I do have quite a lot of makes. So what I thought I'd do is I would split this down into two because otherwise I'm just going to end up rattling on at you for like a good hour. I mean, that is possible. I could probably do that just for these makes anyway, but I've kind of tried to split it down. So I'm going to talk about 5 makes today. And then the next makes video, I'll probably do the same. And then by the time I finish another couple of garments, I'll probably be ready to do the same. Does that make sense? Because obviously I don't tend to do, like a Friday sews where I really like Friday sews because you get to kind of know what the people are working on at that time. And then it's kind of done and dusted, isn't it? Whereas for me, I save them all up. I have to take photos of them all, which I ain't doing. Oh, it's the right pain in the butt. But I need to get better at taking photos of things and just getting on with it. So that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get up to date with all my photos and then I can do my makes videos and we'll crack on. But yeah, I tend to save them up. And then a lot of these makes are from ages ago. So a couple of the makes, for example, are from when we went, myself, Tamlin and Rachel, we went to Jenny Stitches back in November, I think that was. Was it November? It was for Tamlin's 40th. So yeah, and we're in March. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to try and get better at it. I am going to try and get better at it. But I'm not making no promises. So I've got notes written everywhere because I've got them in different books and things like that. So just if I'm rustling around, she says, nearly dropping another piece of paper, I'm really sorry, but that's just how it's going to be, So shall I talk about make number 1, which is what I'm wearing. I'm actually wearing it today. This is the Nora top by Tilly and the Buttons. I shall stand up so you can have a look. This has got like a stepped hem. Can you see at the back? It's drop shoulder. And I've made it with just the standard neckline, but let me show you an image of it. I will be putting images in as well as I'm talking, so you'll get to see plenty. So this is it. It's a very old copy, as you can see. And these are the line drawings here. So you can do like a hip length hem, so it's the same all the way around with short sleeves. You can do a cropped stepped hem with elbow sleeves, and then you can do like a cropped hem with long sleeves and the larger neckline as well. I have made this version here. I made it with the girls actually as part of a collab with First of Fabrics with some cable knit. I do wear that jumper, but I don't wear it enough. And I went to Sew Toon and there's a lovely lady there. You know who you are if you're watching. And she always wears a Nora top whenever I see it. And every time I go, oh, I just love that Nora top. But I don't know if hers is in like a cotton viscose. It's a lot lighter anyway. So I saw this fabric on my gorgeous Tamlin's D-stash and I was like, I'm having that. I seem to remember loads of people got this. And I remember seeing loads of vloggers who'd purchased this and me thinking, why have I not got that? I don't know if it was from like Pound Fabrics or something, but I seem to remember it was a bit of a good deal. And I was tempted at the time and I decided to be good and then I regretted it. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, Tamlin, please let me have that. Thank you, it's mine. And the good thing as well is I didn't just let it sit in my stash. I cracked on and I knew straight away from seeing the lovely lady at Sew Toon as to what I wanted to make with it because it's a much lighter fabric than the cable knit that I made it with last time. The last one I made had the larger neck. And and it's a nightmare because it's cream and I get stuff all over it. Whereas this one, I've just used a plain black ribbing all the way around for my neckline, which is fabulous because it links in quite well with the stripe, I think, and it doesn't kind of look out of place. And also I'm not going to get makeup on it because it's not all the way up here. So I've gone for the long sleeve, which is here. Oh, hey up. And I've gone for the cropped stepped hem. However, I did, let me check, add 2 inches to the length of the bodice because I'm 5'8" and a bit, I think, for reference. And I think Tilling the Buttons drafts for 5'6". So I just added 2 inches on. So it is still cropped, but not too cropped, if you know what I mean. And I really do like the fact that it goes down at the back because it covers then a little bit more of my bum. And I added no length on whatsoever to the sleeves, and it's perfect actually. It doesn't dangle in the way, it is exactly right. And I love how thick this hem of the sleeves is, and it's the same obviously for the bottom. Ooh, can you see that hem? So I stitched this up with Mariflex thread, so I didn't have to worry about anything, and just finished the seams off with my overlocker. And it's a super quick make. It's really good to be able to just whiz something up sometimes, isn't it? I know a lot of people talk about like palette cleansers and quick wins. I'm not normally one for that. I much prefer a long, slow make. But every now and again, I will be like, yeah, come on, I could just do with throwing something together and having an instant top. And I love this because I wear it all the time. A lot of the time around the house with my black joggers on as well. And yeah, I feel great in it. It's, did I tell you, it's a French terry. So it's like a loop back French terry. It's just got enough structure, but not too much. So I should have been a size 7 to 8 on the bust, 8 to 9 on the waist, and 7 to 8 on the hips. But I did a 6 on the bust because I knew from last time that it was quite oversized. And that still gives me, even though I've sized down from a 7/8 to a 6, it still gives me 7.5 inches on the bust. So I actually reckon I could go down a bit more as well if I really wanted to. I'm quite happy with this at the moment. But I did grade out to an 8 on my hips because although it's cropped, I didn't want it to be too tight on my old hips. And I actually think that's perfect because I didn't want it to be close fitting. So yeah, the only thing I don't like about this is the finish on the stepped hem. And I need to have a look at it actually to see whether it's me or not. But you overlock the edges. Oh, I've brushed my hair, so I've got hairs all over me. You overlock the edges, but then there tends to be a bit of a raw bit. So I have actually ended up having to hand stitch a little bit here because I didn't like the finish on it. And I seem to remember that from my last one as well. So I need to just spend a little bit more time on that to see if it's me or if it's just that the pattern's like that and is there a better way of doing it. So yeah, that's make number 1. What do we think? I'm quite happy with that one. Make number 2 is actually 2 makes. And I'm really sorry, guys, right? If you're all bored to death of us vloggers talking about the Bestie Bag. Oh, just hang fire for 1 minute, right? Because I've actually made 5. Now, I haven't got 5 here to show you. I made 3 for my friends who I go away with once a year. So they've got theirs. But my first one that I ever made was this one. And this was made with the leftovers from my Giselle coat. And it's made with the Ace puffer fabric from Fabric Godmother. And you'll have heard again a lot of us vloggers just saying how perfect this bag is to use scraps of fabric that are left over. If you're one of those people like me, do you have like guilt at having like a large scrap of fabric left over? Because I do anyway. So this is a perfect way. And also it's like a really nice gift for somebody as well because you don't have to worry about it fitting or anything like that. But yeah, mine is just, this is just, it's got stuff in it because I use it all the time. Just got plain black lining in it. It's got wild make and made on it like that. And then I've just used, what type have I used? Like a nickel type, brush nickel hardware. And then I've used one of these bag ends, which I think I talked about in a previous video. You can get a similar style to this at First of Fabrics. They do all different colours. I got mine from Amazon. Mine are like, they've got little screws in the back of them. the ones from First Fabric have got like little teeth and you just push them together. So either or will do the job. But I love this and I've worn it a lot, even with my Giselle coat, which is crazy because that's just a little bit extra, isn't it? But yeah, I absolutely love this. And my latest one is this one. I haven't worn it yet. It's not got anything in it, so it's looking a little bit like it needs filling, but I've made it in this gold twill fabric that I got from, is it Good Fabric? It's so extra. It's so extra, it's ridiculous. So I've used gold hardware and a gold clip on the end, which just looks lovely, doesn't it? It really finishes it off nicely. And on the inside, I used the supplementary fabric from one of my So Haley Jane boxes because it had the gold in it and I thought that looked really well. And I've used the So Much Fun label, which came in my Kylie and the Machines advent calendar. So I think I'm going to wear this potentially at the Stitch Festival. You're going to see me coming, that's for sure. But I'd highly recommend it. It's a lovely make. That is the medium size. You can get a large, which I'd like to try. And you can also get an add-on pack, which is a small one. That for me is perfect. The amount you can get in that is sublime. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. And I also was on the Bag Makers Society podcast YouTube live the other week. And because I'm really enjoying making bags. And I think a lot of people only make garments or only make bags. And then suddenly some people start to kind of do both, don't they? I actually really like making a bag because you don't have to think about anything to do with fitting. You know when you've made it, it's going to look how it should look and you're not going to be disappointed. You know what you're getting with it. So I'm definitely exploring bag making a little bit more. So as you know, I have worked with Craftsy for quite some time now, and I wanted to go on there and kind of have a look to see if there's anything from a bag making perspective that I could use to try and kind of enhance my skills as such, because I do want to delve into the bag making side of things a little bit more. So for anybody who doesn't know already, Craftsy is a vibrant online community and resource that serves millions of crafters, makers and DIY enthusiasts who seek creative inspiration or to enhance their skills or acquire new ones throughout their journey. Craftsy provides an impressive selection of over 2,000 engaging classes across more than 20 popular categories. This can include crochet, knitting, sewing, painting, photography, cake decorating, woodworking, and many, many more. These classes are organised into simple, easy to follow lessons led by friendly, award-winning instructors who share their creative insights while providing step-by-step demonstrations. So I had a quick look on there to have a look then to try and enhance my bag making skills, and there was a few classes on there that I thought might be interesting. One of which is called Building Better Bags, and that is by Sarah Lawson. So this is all about interfacing, fleece, foams, that kind of thing. So for example, when I was making one of my bags before, I was kind of like, I don't really understand the difference between this one and that one. So I'm going to have a good watch of that because I want to try and increase my knowledge in regards to the structure of bags. You know, so potentially in the bottom of bags as well, what kind of thing I can put in there to keep like a stronger, harder bottom to my bag, that type of thing. If you wanted to do something and you're a complete beginner of bag making as well, there's a Learn to Sew Simple Bags by Nicole Vaspinder, I think that's the way you pronounce it. So that'd be a really good one as well if you've never actually looked at anything like that before. There's also Making Leather Bags by Don Morin, which I thought would be quite cool because I would love to have a go at that. But I think you probably need potentially different feet for your machine, etc. But I thought that might be quite good. And then there's even Beautiful Bags, the Harris Tote and Clutch Wallet by Diane Spencer-Ogg, who I know is pretty up there in regards to bag making, isn't she? She's quite famous for that. So yeah, I'm going to do a bit more exploring so that I can take my bag level, you know, status to a higher level as such. So if anybody else is interested in Craftsy, the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description box and sign up will get a full year's premium membership to Craftsy, all for $1.49. So to me, that's a great bargain. So yeah, I'll pop all the information in the description box below, and thank you so much Craftsy for sponsoring this video. Right, the next two makes are very similar. but I thought it'd be really good to kind of do a bit of comparison with this. So a while ago, I wanted to try a Pinafore dress, and I'd been looking at the Fibre Mood Kaya for ages, and I decided to finally make it. And this is it here. I know you can't see an awful lot of it here because of screen, but I will be putting photos up, like I say, of everything else. So this is my Fibre Mood Kaya, and I love it, I do. This was made in like a stretch black denim from Rainbow Fabrics. Obviously, I am a brand ambassador for them, and it's just so comfy. I think because it's got a bit of stretch in it as well. Now, this pattern does come fully lined, but I decided to bind it all. So you can see I've just used random binding because this was just going to be a toile, but then I've ended up loving it so much I haven't made another one because I love it. So I just used excess binding that I had that's just been sat there in my stash for so long. So yeah, so you'll see the sleeves have got like a blue flowery one on, and then this has got like a white flowery one, but you know, don't matter, does it? I quite like it when you can see the odd little bit poking out. In order to do that, I had to do, let me see if I can, maybe this side's easier, a V shape on the binding, and the lovely Sam from Frugalism has got a really good demonstration on how to do that over on her channel. So I went and had a look at that before I attempted it to make it, you know, a little bit better for me and try and make sure that I knew what I was doing. I've also put a little label on the back that says self-love. How lovely is that? It's so cute. So I've done that as well. So yes, let me get a picture here of the Fibre Mood. Okay, I love this. It's in like a jersey puffer fabric, and I love the idea of making this actually in a jersey. I think it would be really, really nice. What else can I say about this? So I should have been a size 20 on the bust, 20 on the waist, and then just between a 20 and 22 on the hips, but I actually sized down and made an 18. Because an 18 was 45 inches across the bust, and I didn't want it to be too big around the bust. And an 18 on the hips was 58.5 inches, so I knew I had plenty. I didn't want it to be too A-line. I'd seen a lot of people say, oh, it's just too big. So I thought if I sized down, see how I go. And I knew it was a kind of stretch fabric as well, so I knew I'd sort of get away with it, really. But yeah, so that is the pattern, and I loved it. So yeah, I sized down one size minimum, because a lot of people also said that it slipped off their shoulders a lot. So at the back, some people have actually ended up putting a tie on it to keep it up. I don't have a problem with that, I think, because I've sized down. So across the back, it's absolutely fine. What else? I didn't line it in the end. Yes, I missed out the pockets as well. So I think they're side seam pockets on this one. I didn't want to add any more bulk to the sides. I got big enough hips anyway. My hips don't lie. So I didn't want to put any more pockets in because I was a bit unsure as to how that would look. I would definitely try it again on my next version though, just to see, because it's quite nice to kind of, particularly if you're posing, you know, stick your hands in your pockets. I added 4 inches to the length because it is very short, and I'm very happy with the length. Actually, it's perfect, and it was such a quick and easy make. It was great. So I was very satisfied with that. I wore it when I went to Jenny Stitches with like a mesh leopard print ready to wear top underneath. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. I have also just bought a ready to wear like burgundy animal print high neck roll top. It was just one from Sainsbury's or something like that, but I absolutely loved it. And that looks really nice underneath it as well. So then, in comparison to that, the lovely Tammy Handmade was putting out testers for her Margo Pinafore pattern. And because I love the other one so much, I don't tend to do testers much anymore, but I really like Tammy's patterns, and I've made most of them, to be fair. So I applied, and I was successful in doing it. And I was really intrigued to kind of be able to compare the two. So I have made one in this beautiful burgundy from Fursa Fabrics, and it's like this stretch cord, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's so nice and soft and comfy, and again, it's got a little bit of stretch in it, so it's beautiful. This one is lined kind of all across the bust, so up to about here, and I used just, another thing, a scrap of fabric that I had. which was amazing, from, I think, Pink subscription box, and I thought the colours went really, really well together. Yeah, and I had quite a big piece of that, but I didn't know what to do with it, so I'd kept it, and then I kept thinking, well, I'm not going to do anything with it. It's not big enough to make something with, but it sure came in handy. So yeah, it is lined at the top, all the way down to just under the bust, which is really nice. And I popped this little Rosy Cheeks label in that says Love Yourself Revolution. Just liked how all the colours were. I put pockets in, which are here, look. And it's also got bust darts as well. So I loved making this. It was such a quick, simple make. Honestly, Pinafores, they're the new future, I'm telling you. I should have been, let's have a look, an 18 on the top, 20 to 22 on the waist, and an 18 on the hip. So I made a straight 18 because I was testing it. I wanted to make sure that I tested it correctly. If it's already a pattern that's out there, I might size down, I might mess about with it. But because I was testing it for Tammy, I wanted to make sure that I gave proper, true feedback on the size that I should be if I was to choose it and it was already out there and released. So yeah, really lovely make, very simple, really easy for a beginner, I would say, as well, and very on trend at the moment out there on the high street. So I've seen loads of beautiful ones. The next one I would really like to make is a denim animal print one, because I just think that would look absolutely gorgeous. And I love, for me, it's really nice because it just skims over all the bits that I don't want to be tight, you know. It's like tight up at the top, which is my smallest part, and it just skims nicely over the rest. Yeah, I added the pockets. I love that. It's a nice little feature because they're patch pockets on the front. And I really like the fact that it has bust darts. And that's a big difference to the Kea, because the Kea does not have bust darts at all, whereas the Margo does. And I think that does definitely give you better shaping round here. What I would say is when I made my size up, it was very big on the bust. The ease on the bust was large and it was kind of gaping under the arms. So I took mine in quite a bit. I think it was it 2 centimetres on each side, or maybe a little bit more, so maybe 4 to 5 centimetres overall. But I do know from the feedback that Tammy had that the new pattern that has actually been released now, she has kind of redone the bust so there's less ease in the bust, so it's a bit more of a tighter fit. So I'm looking forward, because I've obviously got that pattern now, to reprinting it with that in mind, so that I can then make the next version up and know that it will be sit perfectly. So I took that amount of fabric in all the way down though, including the bottom of the skirt, and I kind of wish I hadn't. I wish I'd just graded it out a bit, because then the dresses become less A-line. Totally my error. I should have just nipped it in here and then just gone out to where it was so that it was more A-line. So mine fits a little bit more than the pattern should do, so just bear that in mind when you're looking at the photos. It's definitely more A-line, and the next one I make, I want it to be really A-line as well. So I added 3 inches to the dress. It's very much a mini dress, I would say. Like I said, I'm 5'8", so I didn't want it to be a mini. I'm not a big fan of above my knee at all. I'm all right, maybe above my knee to about here. Then I'm like, that'll do. That bit in the middle, I'm not bothered. I'm not even bothered looking at it. Whatever, I'll just forget it's there. But yeah, I don't really like to wear mini, even though I do think that is definitely more on trend, obviously, in the high street. But it's just not for me. I like mine just above the knee if I'm going to do that. To be fair, I much prefer a midi dress, but on this, I think it just looks really nice. So the difference between the two is obviously that the Margo is lined just half. The Kea is actually lined completely, although I didn't do that. I actually bound it instead. It's got bust darts, has the Margo, which I really like for the shaping. It's got patch pockets, whereas the Kea has got inseam pockets. What I do like about the Margo is the burrito method. So it makes it really super neat inside. So if you see here, everything is tucked beautifully, neat and tidy inside, and that's because of the burrito method. Now, I've done the burrito method quite a lot of times, but every time I come to do it, it still makes me scratch my head. Every time. However, the instructions in here, I just did them straight away. I didn't even have to scratch my head once, which is a good thing, believe me, because I do tend to do that every time. So I was really, really happy with that because, yeah, the instructions are superb. So would highly recommend. If I had to choose between the two, I think I would definitely go with the Tammy Handmade Margo, just because of the shaping. And for example, if you didn't want patch pockets, you could put your own inseam pockets in it, couldn't you, if you wanted to? I just love the really nice, beautiful deep V as well. I think it's spot on, particularly for someone of my shape who is smaller on the top and bigger on the middle and bottom. It's just chef's kisses. Okay, so what else have we got? Let me double check. I think I'm just going to do one. I'll just do one more. And these are some pajamas that I made, actually, again, for when I went away with the girls. Let me have a little slurp, because I'm sick of the sound of my own voice already. I've got my free Amex thing. Still haven't got a new one. I'm just going to use this forever. I don't care if it says American Express all over. I'm not bothered. So I wanted to make some really luxe PJs for when I went away with the girls. And I'd been looking at the Sew Over It Luna PJs for ages. And this is they. So they've got trousers here, look, with an elasticated waist. And then this beautiful wrap top with a tie. Now, I was a bit worried about this tie, that it was going to do my head in bed. So I thought to myself, why don't you make it in a jersey instead? I don't think it says about jersey in this pattern. It is made for woven, but I think when I'd looked on the Instagram hashtag, somebody else had made it in jersey, and I was like, that's a good idea. And I'd got some pink rib knit, again from a Think Pink subscription box ages ago, and the lovely Andrea sent me some extra free because she knew I wanted to make loungewear with it. So I had enough for it, because I think it should take 4 meters, this pattern, and it was about right, to be fair, for me and my height as well. So this is they, and you can see it's got like a tie here. Sorry, this isn't that looked wrong, didn't it? That is the tie. It's to stop it from going on the floor, because it is a really long tie, and I made it a little bit longer because I wanted there to be plenty of bow left over. But it basically comes round like that, and then it ties at the side. I put this little label on, let me get it, that says no bra required. And I thought that was appropriate because my lovely Tamlin gave those to me as a gift ages ago, and they've been sat in my stash, and I really wanted to kind of, use that because I was going away for her birthday. The trousers, let me get in. Oh. See, that's how long the tie is. I think I might have extended the tie, I can't actually remember. And then the top is literally just a channel with the elastic in it. I put another little label in that said dream it, want it, go for it, which I thought was cute. That's a little rosy cheeks one. And yeah, the fabric is just absolutely gorgeous. It was a dream to work with. I sewed it up with Mariflex because I think the Mariflex had come in the box, Think Pink box, and then overlocked it. I added 2 inches onto the length of the trousers, and they are mega long, to be honest. And I also added 2 inches onto the bodice, and I'm really happy with where that sits. So I should have been an 18 on the bust, a 20 on the waist, and an 18 on the bottom, but I did a straight 18 all the way along because I knew the waist was going to be cinched in anyway with the tie. And oh no, I did a 16, sorry, on the top. I actually sized down on the top, and then I did a straight 18 on the bottom. So even with a 16, I would have had 4 inches ease in the bust, and I didn't want it to be gaping, if you know what I mean. I don't have big boobs, so I don't have a lot to fill it with, you know what I mean? So I had to just be careful with that one. It was a really quick and simple make. I seem to remember making this when I took my machines away, when I went away with the family and we were staying somewhere for a few days. And I just made it up while I was there. Super quick, super simple. The front does have a facing. So you can see here, the facing goes all the way down. And that is not meant to be sewn down, probably because in a woven fabric you'd probably have a bit more structure. However, because mine was a stretch fabric, it kept flipping out. So I have actually top stitched mine all the way along and all the way down, which I actually think gives a really nice finish. When I was looking at the photos, when I took photos, I was like, yeah, I'm really glad I've done that, and I probably would do that with a woven pair as well. So your tie just goes through a little hole here, look, on the side there, and just ties round, and you can move the tie to wherever you want it to be. And that's another reason I think why I extended it a little bit, because I'm a side sleeper. So I didn't want it to be on the side that I'm sleeping on. So I could always move it into the middle and tighten the middle to make sure that I was comfy at night. I would 100% make those pyjamas again. I think they're kind of in between pyjamas and loungewear, aren't they? So I would really like to make them in double gauze, because I think that would be really nice. Even though double gauze is woven, it's got a little bit of movement to it, hasn't it? And I think it would be really, really lovely in a really beautiful, soft viscose twill, something like that. Take a bit of ironing, but you know, I think it would just be so comfy. But I will 100% be making those again. Love them. I would make them in a jersey again, no bother. What's nice about that jersey is it's a really light, flowy jersey. You know, it's not a thick cotton jersey or anything like that. It's got a really nice drape to it, but can you tell how much I love it? I love it! So, there we go. They're all my makes so far. Well, 5 or 6 of them anyway. There is more to come. I'm not sure when I'll get round to doing part 2, but hopefully pretty soon. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have made any of these, if you love them just as much, if you're sick of all those vloggers talking about bestie bags. Don't say that, really. I'm not inviting hate. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind, it'd be really good if you could give me a thumbs up. That really does help me on YouTube. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love for you to do so you can join me on my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.